All right, my Harlem Roadrunners. I have noticed and reviewed that some of our students have trouble with making connections between fiction and nonfiction text. So one of the assignments that I was thinking of, and I did not make this up on my own, I actually saw it at another school, and other librarians and teachers are using it, that they are actually having students search a topic that is meaningful to them or something that they want to learn about, and then finding the fiction, so they have a nonfiction book based off of their topic, and then they're finding a fiction book that they can make a connection with that same topic. So one of the things that I was thinking in elementary that we can make connections with is some topics students may have medicine. This is a very broad subject. But if you type in medicine and you search, okay, you get lots of nonfiction books. So a student can read about being a vet, reading about being a doctor, read about being the EMT. Okay, there's even a book in Spanish. Read about being a dentist, all of these kind of things. So we're trying to make the fiction connection to medicine. So if we go back to our search and we go to book and we're going to read, we're going to still type in medicine, and we're going to use the keyword instead of subject. And then we're going to go down here to the bottom, and we're going to scroll, I'm sorry, not down here to the bottom. We're going to scroll through and we're going to look for the call numbers. So we know that if call numbers have a number, an actual number in them, that's a nonfiction book. But if it's a call number and it has FIC, that's a fiction book. So here's Roald Dahl's George's Marvelous Medicine. That's a fiction book and can be talking about medicine. There is another one, The Maker of Monsters, okay, talking about Batman making monsters, okay. So let's try another subject. Some students may like skateboarding, okay. So maybe this is something that they do at home. There are lots of fiction books, okay, especially Brandon Terrell and Jake Maddox series are a lot of fun for students to read. And it's about skateboarding or some form of fiction novel about skateboarding. And then they can tie in with a nonfiction book like Shaun White, a famous skateboarder. And then even Skateboarding in 796. Skateboarding Greats, so that's 920, that's a lot of famous skateboarders, and then more fiction books. So I think it's very important that when you ask students to search for a book, it's good when they go to the shelf and find a book, but if they use the Destiny catalog or even in Destiny Discover, because that's an easier format for students, that they can make connections from just type in a subject that they're looking for and then finding a nonfiction and a fiction book that ties into that subject. So they can make those comparisons. How is their subject in a fiction book based off of how their subject is written in a nonfiction book? I hope this is helpful, and maybe we can raise those scores. Go Roadrunners.